Hey, YouTube world, and a good happy morning to you. Gonna remind you, as I always do, I can be found all over the web, on Facebook, here, and on Instagram. Check it out. If you look me up on Facebook, don't forget that the Crafting with Six is typed in as all one word with no spaces. Now, today I want to talk about depression and low self-esteem. Does depression and low self-esteem run hand in hand? Well, I'm going to venture to say no, not always. Now, I think it can, and I think sometimes it does, and I think maybe 50-50 it does. I can say that I, over the years, have come to realize that I suffer from depression, and I don't think that means I have a low self-esteem, because I'm not about to sit back and be someone's doormat, as y'all have seen from these videos. I am very opinionated. I am not without a voice, and I'm not gonna sit back and be trampled on. I'm very out there. I'm very bold. I'm very outgoing. And my depression, my anxiety, don't determine who I am. Sometimes they run hand in hand themselves, as far as the depression and the anxiety can run hand in hand with themselves, that I've found. But I really don't think I have a low self-esteem. My depression comes from events of my childhood and things of that nature. I really, unless I'm wrong, unless I'm missing it somewhere, I really don't think my self-esteem is low. You know, I run a crafting channel, and I run this channel, and I run an Instagram, and I'm secure in who I am. So I'm not out here looking for stranger love or stranger approval. I'm not doing, crazy skits and shits to get attention, though I do like my hats. And these hats are going to become my trademark for this channel. You're going to start to see me wearing the different poopy hats, and that's just because I think it's funny. But is there any skits and bullshit behind it? Bullshit. Anyway, no, there's not, And every now and then I get a good one off. But I don't think the two necessarily have to run hand in hand. Now, I'm not a psychiatrist. What the hell do I know? Other than my own experience, I can tell you that I think you can be depressed, and I think that you can have anxiety, and I think that you can have a lot of different social anxiety. I think you can have, a lot of different things as far as mental illness goes, but I don't necessarily think that equals low self-esteem. On a day-to-day basis, like I'm working on this right here, and, I think it's pretty good. I think it's coming out excellent. I think it's coming out great. I think I am a good artist. I think I'm a great artist. I think I'm really good at making jewelry. I think I have a great self-esteem. So I don't know. I don't really know. I've never really heard doctors specifically say that depression and anxiety and low self-esteem run hand in hand. So I'm curious as to y'all's thoughts on this. So comment below and let me know what you think, because I'm really curious as to if people, have had a doctor tell them this, or if they think that the two run hand in hand. Because low self-esteem doesn't always mean depression. And I've come to realize that being depressed doesn't always equal low self-esteem. I've also come to realize that mourning the loss of a loved one doesn't always equal low self-esteem or depression. I think because everyone who's keeping up with this channel knows that I just recently lost my grandson, and in the midst of mourning that, I've fought really hard to not become depressed. And I think I've successfully done that. It hasn't been quite 2 months since he passed, because he passed November the 20th. And on the 20th of this month will make 2 months. But, it's been really hard. And I've been really sad. And I've been, I believe I've been doing normal grieving and normal mourning. I've had normal sadness. I don't really think I've had depression over it. At least I'm trying not to. But I don't think this has lowered my self-esteem. I don't know, guys. I mean, somebody comment below and let me know. I'm sure there's somebody out there who can relate that, that being, mourning the loss of a loved one, a family member, or being depressed or having anxiety, it doesn't necessarily have to mean low self-esteem. I don't look down upon myself. As a matter of fact, in an effort to consciously start lifting up my self-esteem, I've started a board behind me. I don't know if you can see it. Basically what this is gonna do is, it says, today I'm okay. That's what this says right here. And then I have the year. And then I know you can't see this because I wrote it really small, because I'm starting in January and I'm going to take the rest of the year, and I'm just going to, every morning when I get up, this will become part of my routine, is to write something positive on this board behind me about myself. And this is when I start to feel bad, this is what I'm going to look at throughout the day. So today I wrote, today I'm beautiful. Tomorrow I'll write something else. And the goal is just to give myself, not seek it from someone else, not bash on myself, not, expect someone else to give this to me, but to compliment myself and to make myself feel good. Because today I'm okay, and so that's what I'm doing. And hey, feel free to do it yourself if you like. It's just a reminder of you're okay, and you don't need someone else to tell you that. You don't need someone else to give you your props. You don't need someone else to boost your self-esteem. And it's okay if you have depression. It's okay if you have anxiety. It's okay if you have some kind of mental illness. And I really, guys, I could be wrong, But I really don't think depression and low self-esteem run hand in hand. And if they do, then you know what? The best way to conquer that is to lift both. And you know what? I have to honestly say that I don't have a therapist, and maybe I should get one. Who knows? My therapist would probably drop me because of the things I would tell them, because I have no filter. And my crazy is big, we all know. But anyway, guys, really, there's so many different ways that you can lift your own self-esteem. And I can honestly tell you that when it comes to self-esteem, if you're counting on someone else to give you that, you're setting them up for failure, and you're setting you up for failure. Because if I put my happiness or my self-esteem in someone else's hands, if I'm constantly just sitting around like a little puppy, like a little lap dog, waiting for somebody to compliment me, God forbid their day gets so busy they forget to toss me my bone. Not because they didn't mean to, not because they intentionally want to hurt my feelings, not because they intentionally thought, oh, I'm going to snatch that bone because I'm going to watch Six curl up in the corner and rock back and forth in the fetal position, sucking her thumb because I didn't give her her compliment. Nah, dude, come on, man. If we put that off on other people, can you imagine the responsibility that you're throwing on? How would you feel if somebody did that to you? I mean, how would you feel if you were responsible every day for somebody else's happiness, self-esteem? And maybe you think you are, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe you think you are, but you're really not. Maybe you think you are responsible for making her or him happy or boosting their self-esteem. That's not your job. That's not your job. Dude, for real, shit like that don't come from outside. It comes from inside. And if it's coming from outside, then it's fake. Then it's bullshit. Because here's the thing. If I can't look at me and tell me today I'm beautiful, then it don't matter what you tell me, or she tell me, or he tell me, or they tell me. If I don't believe it and see it for myself, nah, man, you just mouthing the words that don't mean nothing. And that's a hell of a responsibility to put off on somebody else. God forbid, my husband has to be to work for 3 in the afternoon. And I generally, unless we're going out to lunch, I generally don't wake him up until 2:30. I let him sleep in because on the weekends, he goes to a second job and he works overnight. So, I try to let him sleep in because, I appreciate the fact that he's working his ass off and he needs his rest. So during the day, the kids have class because they're homeschooled, and we try to be as quiet as we can and respect the fact that he's resting, and God forbid that between him getting up and getting a shower, getting his food, and getting the hell up out of here so he's not late to work, he forgets, or, he doesn't say, I love you that morning. I'm not going to fall apart. I'm not going to go sit in the corner and rock back and forth. My self-esteem just hit the floor because my husband didn't compliment me. No, because see, the truth is, my husband compliments me every day he goes to work. My husband compliments me every time he pays the rent. My husband compliments me every time my Wi-Fi is paid, every time my cell phone bill is paid, every time there's food on my table, every time I have what I need. Just the other day, he went out and bought me 2 new pairs of name brand shoes. I got a pair of Asics, I think they're called, and a pair of Felines. You know, compliment. Compliment. And he buys me these hats because he knows I'm so into them. And I'm sitting here. I'm so into the poopy thing, guys. My little poopy emoji sitting here on my tripod or whatever the hell you call this thing that holds the phone. But, and that's why I tell you, I am secure in who I am. And I know I'm loved at home. So I'm not looking for stranger love. And if my husband becomes in such a rush that he goes out the door and he forgets to say I love you, or he doesn't have time, or, when he pays my rent, when he buys me shoes, when he puts a roof over my head and my Wi-Fi and my cell phone and food on the table and my washer and dryer, and, he loves me. He loves me. And so, again, I do suffer with depression and anxiety. Sometimes I get so anxious I don't know what to do with myself, and I don't know why. I honestly don't know if it's triggered by things that are going on the outside or the inside. I don't know if the depression is triggered by, I'm starting to think that it is menstrual related. Now, that might sound crazy, but I know during that time of the month, I am so flippin' emotional. It's not even funny. The week before and the week of. So it's like 2 weeks out of the month. Seriously, I'm just, you could say boo and I'm crying. You could say beautiful flowers and I'm crying. Or you could say, how you doing? And I'm ready to bite your head off. And I don't mean to, but I don't know. I think I'm getting old too. I think I'm getting old, and I think I'm going through menopause, and I think I'm just going crazy sometimes. I love these hats. But I just think, and I could be wrong, but I really don't think depression means low self-esteem. And maybe it does, and I found some way to fight both of them. Because like I said, I'm not in therapy. I don't go to therapy. I probably should, but I don't. I mean, I tried it in the past when I was a kid. And I got to tell you, when you go to therapy as a kid, you are truly scarred by that. Because here's the deal. There's no privacy. Like, you think the conversation is between you and that therapist. It's not. That conversation is between you, the therapist, and any freaking adult in your life who might or might not have custody of you at the time. And keep in mind, I was raised by the state. So, any social worker or government agency that wanted to go talk to my therapist and know what I said, my freaking therapist just bleh, word regurgitated anything I said. Seriously, like they were throwing up everything I said. And then not only that, but any foster family I was in, just bleh, and then they would go and regurgitate it to the school that I was in. So it was just ongoing, and I learned real quick two things. Don't trust a goddamn person. Don't trust a soul. And that therapy is not between you and the therapist. Now, as an adult, it could very well be. I don't know. My, I know someone who just started therapy. And according to that person, they had to sign a contract saying if I don't show up, or if I say this, or if I say that, or if I do this, you can report me, you can lock me up, you can do whatever. So I'm thinking, well, gee, I will definitely cancel ahead of time. And I will never say this, even if I feel that way. And I will never tell you this, even if I think it. It's like, duh. Some things are better left unsaid, I guess. So, when you put yourself in a position to not be able to be honest, or when that person, I'm sorry, not yourself, but when that person puts you in a position to not even be honest with them, what's the point? Because if I can't come to you and go, hey, I am feeling suicidal, and we can't talk about it. I mean, just because I might feel like I want to go make $1 million, that doesn't mean I can go make $1 million. Just because I come to you, go, I'm feeling suicidal, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to go off myself. It could just be the way I'm feeling right now. I could feel in the next 5 minutes, I could be feeling like $1 million. And 5 minutes after that, I could be feeling like I need a nap. 5 minutes after that, I could be feeling like, damn, I need to go to Red Lobster. I'm hungry. I mean, if I can't come to you and in all confidence express how I'm feeling, what's the point? And if I feel like I have to hide stuff because I feel like you're gonna have me locked up, or you're gonna not understand what I'm saying, what's the point? I really do. And maybe there's good therapists out there. I just don't want to waste my time, emotion, and effort in looking for them. Like I said, as a child, being in foster care and in therapy, I was truly scarred because I made the mistake one time of telling the therapist something, and the next thing I know, not only did my social worker know about it, but my foster family knew about it. My school teacher knew about it. I was like, I learned at that point in my life, and I want to say 9 or 10. I was really young. I was around 9 or 10. And I learned at that point never to trust another living soul with information that I felt could be used against me or that could make me vulnerable. And there's so many things that I held in for years. And then I've been married for 17 years, going on 17 years this year. And there's so many things I held in up until like maybe 2-3 years ago. And I finally just started disclosing things to my husband as far as my childhood goes. And that took a lot. It took a lot because let me tell you, I don't just openly trust anybody. My kids, my husband, my best friend, that just didn't. And it took a lot. And I told him a little to see what he was going to do. And then he was compassionate and he was understanding, and we were still married. I mean, I didn't cheat on the man. It was nothing like that. But it was just things from my childhood, being raised in the foster care system and being raised in and out of group homes and, things like that. And it was really just hard for me to tell him and anybody. And so, again, I'm emotional, guys, because it's that time of the month. But And I don't edit these videos, like I said before, so you're gonna see all of this. But I just if therapy works for you, then work it. But for me, it didn't work. You know, but I honestly want to say that my self-esteem, I really, and I could be wrong, maybe somebody's out there as a therapist is going to come back and tell me your self-esteem is shit because you cry all the time. Maybe, I don't know. I don't believe it is. And like I said, I'm not going to let someone from the outside come in and treat me like shit. I'm not going to let my kids walk all over or disrespect me. I'm not going to let my husband treat me like shit or disrespect me. Not that he ever has or would. But I think enough of myself to know that I feel like I deserve to be treated with decency and respect. And I am a very emotional based person, as y'all see. I mean, I cry on these videos, and it's who I am. And again, it is that time of the month for me. I'm sure, y'all don't care, but, that has a lot to do with driving a female's emotions, too. In all honesty, I'm not bullshitting. It really does. I love this hat. But it really does. It drives our emotions to be on our cycles. And, we are more emotional, some of us, during this time. Some of us greet it with sadness, and some of us greet it with irritation, and some of us greet it with both. And I'll tell you, no lie, I flip-flop my emotions this time, and I let everybody in my household know it's that time. I warn them. I forewarn them. I tell my kids it's that time, and I don't see them for a week. I'm just kidding, but they will keep their distance because, mom's crazy, but I mean, if you're in therapy, guys, ask your therapist, come back, comment below, let me know, because I really just don't, personal experience, I don't look for, and I used to look for my compliments from other people, and I've come to realize that is such a bullshit thing to put on someone else, is to give them the job of making me happy, is to give them the job and the responsibility of lifting my self-esteem. Why is that their responsibility? Wow, what a responsibility to put off on someone else. What, because, and you're lifting them up for failure, because every day for a year they could come by and go, you're beautiful, and carry on, you're great, and carry on, you're awesome, and then that one day when maybe they've got a cold, or they're running late for work, or whatever, and they zing, and they forget to go, you're awesome, and then you're sitting in the corner because they didn't tell you you're beautiful or you're awesome, or and apparently you don't know it yourself, so it takes them to tell it to you, and now all of a sudden you're distraught because they didn't, and now they feel like shit because they didn't. It's like, dude, come on, guys, don't put that responsibility off on someone else, especially if you care about them, because it's not their job. It is not their job to boost your morale or to boost your self-esteem, or that's the whole thing. Get a clue from the word self. Not husband wife esteem, not brother sister esteem. It's self-esteem. So that is your job to maintain that, however you got to do it. And this is just one way for me. I have all kinds of ways of keeping my self-esteem high, and I also have a high self-respect, and I also, that's just me. And it wasn't always. It took me years to learn and to figure out that it is my job to be okay with me. And, you know, if someone else isn't okay with me, then that's fine. I don't need you to be. I don't need your kudos. I don't need stranger love. I don't need your thumbs up. I don't need you to subscribe to make me feel good. Now, hey, I wish you would, because, you know, I'm trying to grow my channel and everything. But if you don't, you know, such is life. You know, it is what it is. And not everybody's going to like what I have to say, and not everybody's going to like what I have to do, because I don't have a filter. And this is my channel, and I can do and say as I please, whether you find it offensive or don't find it offensive, whether you agree or don't agree, as long as I stay within the legal guidelines of the provider that I'm using, which happens to be YouTube. And I believe I do. I believe I stay well within the legal guidelines. And so therefore, you know, basically other than that, I can say what I want, do what I want, wear what I want. I love these hats, you know. But I just want you guys to know that, look, just because you suffer with a physical illness or a mental illness does not mean you have to have low self-esteem. You don't. And you don't have to be walked all over. Just because you're depressed today, or just because you're anxious today, or just because you're emotional today, doesn't give someone else the right to walk all over you, to step on you, to treat you like crap, nor does it mean you have to take it. You don't. Stand up for yourself, have a voice, know that you are okay the way you are, because you are. Whether you have mental illness, physical illness, or both, you are okay the way you are. And there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you accepting and embracing who you are the way you are. And anyone who has a problem with it, screw you. I mean, it's just straight up, screw you. Move on to, and that goes back to my video I did the other day, toxic people. You know, anybody who's got a problem with you, stay away from you. Stay away. If you don't like what I'm doing, who I am, what I'm saying, the fact that I have a physical ailment, or the fact that I have a mental ailment, stay away from me. It's that simple. You know, I kind of feel like this. During the summertime, I don't like to run my air conditioner very often, and when I do, I like to cool it off, not freeze and cold it. And my friend would come over when I lived in New Orleans, and he would come over, and I didn't, because in New Orleans in January, anybody who lived in New Orleans or lives in New Orleans knows that in January, it's hot in New Orleans. I mean, it's not here in Missouri. It can be snowing in January, which it did the other day. But back home, it would be like in the 80s and 90s in January. And so he would come over and go, "You ain't running your air conditioner? It's hot here." I'd look him dead in his face and go, "Do you have the air conditioner on at your house?" "Yeah." Is it cool at your house?" "Yeah." "Then you should be there." Imagine that. If it's comfortable enough for you at your house and uncomfortable for you at my house, carry on. I'm just saying. So, with the same theory, if you look at me like I'm crazy, or I'm moody, or I'm whatever, do you have crazy, moody, whatever people at your house? No? You should be there. I mean, for real. Don't let the doorknob hit you. Just saying. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get up from here because, no bullshit, it's getting late. In my world, it is 9:55 a.m. Again, let's not forget, I can be found all over the web, and I'm not as crazy everywhere else. I mean, I come here to do my crazy and be myself and be unedited and, talk to the people, talk to myself, I don't know. But anyway, look me up on Instagram, look me up on Facebook, because I am having fun wherever I go. Sometimes I'm serious, sometimes I'm controversial. Yeah, I'm human, but if you want to go figure out how to make things, do things, color things, just have fun with things, look me up on my crafting channel. If you just want to hang out and be a part of, look me up on Instagram. And hey, if you like this channel, thumbs up it and subscribe. And if you want to just be a bystander and watch, that's fine too. I mean, whatever turns you on, do it, I'm going to go on and wrap this one up. So, again, I've got this going on back here. Today I'm okay. Write something small on it, and by the end of the year, I hope this whole board is just taken up with all kinds of positive things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and move it to my bedroom and start a new one. And then every year from now until the day I die, I guess, which could be 20 years from now, maybe I'll have 20 of these. I'd like to pass them on to my children, and hopefully they can hang it up somewhere in their house and just read it. Just read it every day, read something positive, from mom, and that is what it is. I saw in one of my crafting groups that I belong to the other day, and here's a thought, guys. I mean, seriously, if your mother or your grandmother wears lipstick, and I thought this was so brilliant, so I'm going to share this before I go. If your mother or grandmother wears lipstick and they blot it before they go wherever or do whatever, have them take on a small napkin, have them blot on the lipstick on it for a couple of days. And then once it's full, take the napkin and put it in a frame. And when they pass, hopefully not anytime soon, but when they pass, it will be like getting a kiss from your grandmother or your mother every day for the rest of your life. And I saw a woman in one of my crafting groups, not my crafting group that I run, but one that I belong to. And I thought, wow, I don't wear lipstick, but I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was really, really just interesting, as a concept too. That would be something personal from your mom, and it's the shape of her lips. So, yeah, it would be kind of like getting a kiss from your mom or your grandmother, every day for the rest of your life. And that was kind of my concept with this. Because not only will, I'm okay today help boost my morale and my self-esteem, but after I'm done with it, after I'm done writing on it for the entire year, if I hand it over to one of my children, they go hang it in their bedroom or whatever, every day they can read that, and it's just full of positive stuff, they can, take that in and boost their morale for themselves. But anyway, like I said, I'm dragging this out longer than need be, so that's just some thoughts to boost your own self-esteem and not have to rely on someone else to do it. But anyway, guys, happy Wednesday, this January the 15th, and have a good rest of your day. Wave at the poopy hat, the bullshit hat. Anyway, have a good one, guys.